and he finally had him against the fence. We had him start really throwing punches. Raphael wasn't doing anything anymore, and when he landed that nice uppercut, that's when Raphael really went down, and that's when Thiago Silva really got going, hit him, and started not keep on him beating the crap out of him, and the referee called it and called him a knockout victory. So congratulations, Thiago Silva. I mean, wow, Feijao. I don't know what happened to him. But we'll see. Maybe he should train harder to not gas out so easily. So that's the key thing. Well, in any event, in this co-main event here, this was a battle for the Ultimate Fighter contract from the Ultimate Fighter Brazil 2, as the last two contenders of Leonardo Santos versus William Patolino. Actually, it's Patolino. There you go, Patolino. And so they were fighting for of course, Ultimate Fighter contract, for the six-figure contract. And so what happened was, so when they went at it, they fought, and of course, the winner via submission with an arm triangle choke is Leonardo Santos. I mean, wow. I mean, this went 2 rounds, mind you. This went 2 rounds. But Patolino was it went 2 rounds? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, actually, it did run 2 rounds because Patolino was first of all, he was out wrestling him, which was a surprise that Leonardo Santos was such a world-class grappler, and then he kept on grounding and pounding him for the most part. And it did went to the bell. It went to the second round, but then that's when it was a little bit different story, because then of course, Patolino was still winning a little bit. He was still fighting smart. But one of the key things that happened with him was that the referee had to caution him, because when Leonardo Santos attempted to take him down, he held on to the freaking fence for dear life. He held on to the fence, and then instead, when he let go of the fence, that's when he went down and was on top of Santos. But then the referee said, no, this ain't gonna happen this way. Get these two up. He got him up. He got him against the fence. Admonished him, look, you do this one more time, I'm going to take a point away. Some people assumed he already did. But actually, I heard what the referee said. You do this one more time, I'm taking this away. Don't be grabbing onto that fence anymore. Please, knock it off. That's basically what he told him. And so, of course, the fight continued. And then that was basically the beginning of the end, because then that's when Leonardo Santos had the Patolino down and started to really pounding him and so forth. But what he finally did was he got him in an arm triangle choke and really squeezed it. And it just seems like William Patolino just gave up really fighting after that, after this defense situation for some reason. I don't know. But needless to say, Leonardo Santos deserved the victory because he finally forced him to tap out. And that's all it was to it. And so now, and then that was great respect that he respected Jose Aldo, the featherweight champion. He gave respect to him, and it was an excellent post-fight celebration there, and the interviews and so forth. So wow, and congratulations, Leonardo Santos, on your being an Ultimate Fighter Brazil 2 winner and earning a 6-figure contract. So yes, now the man's life has changed, and he's going to continue to keep on having that reality and his life change. Now that he's got it. He'll have a target on his back in so many ways, even though he's not a champion, but he is a big-time winner. So when you're a big-time winner anyway, you're going to still be targeted, but anybody that can come up with, that can meet the challenge will be Leonardo Santos. So in any event, let's move on to the main event of the evening, as former UFC interim heavyweight champion and Pride heavyweight champion Antonio Minotauro Nogueira went against Fabricio Werdum, and this was actually a rematch. It was actually part 2 of their fight, because the first time when they met each other was in Pride, and Minotauro Nogueira actually beat Fabricio Werdum in Pride. So that's what happened there. And so, of course, when they went at it, it took them 2 rounds for that to happen. They went scrambling, they were pressing against the fence, they were swinging for the fences. Fabricio Werdum was doing leg kicks to Minotauro. Minotauro, of course, went close and did some boxing to him, did some dirty boxing, some takedowns, and trying to scramble and so forth. But when round 2 happened, the same thing was going on, except of course, when they went down to the ground, Fabricio had, of course, Minotauro in some kind of armbar, which I couldn't see at first. But what he did was he had him in the side, he had him in his armbar, where he finally was able to straighten it out, and to such a degree, because what happened was he was trying to defend the armbar as best as he could, but what he did was it was so much of a scramble that he couldn't even actually, you weren't even sure that because you didn't see him tap. But it was not a physical tap, it was a verbal tap. He actually gave up verbally instead. That's what happened. So the referee basically called him a fight and awarded a submission victory via a verbal tap out. That's what Bruce Buffer would say, via armbar. Now, verbal tap outs, wow. I mean, psychologically, I don't know. He's got to do something to a man's psyche when he has to. I mean, it's one thing to admit defeat to be a physical tap out when you're tapping your opponent, or you're tapping the ground, or however it is. I mean, it's bad enough to really have to admit the defeat when you have to tap out this way, but it's really bad, in my view, if you have to actually verbally say it. Like, say, I quit, uncle, or I've had enough. Just to verbally say, or I quit, that has to really be psychological damaging. But if anybody that can get past it, obviously, is Minotauro Nogueira. I mean, he's been around for a long time, but it still doesn't make it easier, just to have to verbally tap out and say I quit, and be able to really live with yourself. And I know it's not, and I know I'm talking on an ego here, but that's what happens sometimes too when you get into these fights and so forth. You are risking, verbally tapping out and things like that. But once you look at it in a different way, you'd be glad, because now you're not risking injuries and so forth. So it's hard. I know it's hard. But like I said before, I mean, I know that, like I said, a lot of guys that say I give up and quit and so forth, and then you're like, oh, I mean, but it still does it's not an easy thing to really take. It's not an easy thing. I mean, losing is losing. You'd rather lose by knockout than you do a tap out, or even a verbal tap out. But needless to say, though, Fabricio Werdum, excellent job on your victory, submitting his idol, Minotauro. And now, what's the next for him? Was he going to get a title shot? I mean, after all, Junior Dos Santos made a great statement when he beat up Mark Hunt. I mean, is he next for it? I mean, yeah. I mean, he should be fighting for the title at some point. But I think Fabricio Werdum should fight for whoever is the next fight, if they decide to have Junior Dos Santos versus Cain Velasquez 3. That's just my opinion. That's just how it is. I don't really know if that's really they're gonna do it that way, but that's just my guess and how it could happen. But we'll see what the UFC and if UFC wants, and how, if these two fighters, as far as Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos, are ready to go, or maybe Fabricio Werdum will be the one to go if Junior Dos Santos is not ready. So there's that possibility too. So that's how it goes. Well, in any event, wow, Werdum has really gone a long way since his Strikeforce days. Now he's really done it. He's beaten guys like Fedor Emelianenko. Now Minotauro Nogueira, Big Country. I mean, Werdum is really he's doing something here, and all he needs to do now is just keep climbing up the ladder and win the UFC heavyweight champion. And he's already beaten up Alex Overeem too. I mean, my goodness. I mean, seriously, this guy. I mean, if he keeps it up, he should be winning championships. I can't see why not. This guy is a world-class athlete, and he's a world-class submission. And if anybody that I think that can probably put somebody in trouble like Cain Velasquez, probably could be him. We'll see. We shall see. So, wow, what a night of Brazilian MMA at its finest. And this really was Brazilian MMA at its finest. My goodness. There are times like this I wish I was in Brazil watching these fights, because, I mean, wow. And it was also very good to see Anderson Silva in the corner of Minotauro, even though Minotauro didn't win, but it was nice to see Anderson Silva there. And just various other MMA fighters, Brazilian MMA fighters that were there. So, Any event, I'm gonna get going. I've talked long enough, but I just thought I'd really talk about this event because this event was really exciting. And like I said, whenever time there's an event in Brazil, I get excited. I don't know about y'all, but I get very excited when there's an event in Brazil. I mean, my goodness. My goodness. Just imagine the energy that's there. And just imagine if you're there feeling all that energy. You probably won't be able to sleep for a few hours after the event. I mean, you may have to try to work that energy off somewhere and like dancing or something like that in order to get to sleep. But nonetheless, you know, it's a great event overall. So any event, thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. And I will talk to you sometime. Oh, I should be able to talk to you sometime next week because next week is UFC 161. I remember now. So I should be seeing y'all on that by next week. So take care and good night. Healing is all that is.